The first thing you need to do to get rid of brain fog is to stop exciting your brain so much. We live in the age of instant rewards. From Instagram likes to junk food, nowadays getting pleasure is easier than it has ever been. Of course, this comes at a high price. For sake of simplicity, let's say that the main molecule responsible for pleasure is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Whenever you do or anticipate something rewarding, you get a hit of dopamine in the brain. The more important the reward is, the more dopamine will be released. This is the way your brain helps you move in a positive direction in life. The big problem is that this mechanism can be hijacked and exploited. Social media provides rewards to keep you addicted to it so you consume as much ads as possible. Junk food provides such a pleasurable experience that people eat themselves to a coma. Caffeine releases so much dopamine that some people can't even go a day without their cup of coffee. You might be wondering, what's wrong with this? Glad you asked. Dopamine is the molecule that teaches your brain what behaviors should be repeated in the future. If something is rewarding enough, then it should be repeated again and again. The problem is that your brain doesn't know the negative consequences of too much dopamine. Your brain needs a certain amount of dopamine levels to function properly. When you constantly engage in rewarding behaviors, you will saturate your brain with dopamine. As a result, your brain will seek a way to counterbalance this excess and reach a state of homeostasis, which means balance. The way your brain does this is by reducing the amount of dopamine receptors in the brain. It makes sense that if the amount of receptors decrease, then the effects of dopamine will decrease as well. Here lies the problem. Dopamine is responsible, among many things, for focus, motivation, and excitement. When you are not able to feel dopamine's full effects in your brain, it's normal to feel distracted, confused, and unmotivated. The best antidote to this is to not abuse your brain's dopamine circuit. Take care of it by consciously choosing your rewards. For this reason, I recommend you watch this video I made about how to take care of your dopamine circuit. Here, I rank the substances that release the most amount of dopamine so you can properly use them. I also think you can benefit a lot from this video I made about the top 7 bad habits that damage your brain. I will leave the links in the description of this video. The second thing that will help you get rid of brain fog is learning how to concentrate. Brain fog is usually described as difficulty to pay attention and think. You must understand that in order to do this, you need two things: energy and the ability to concentrate. Let's talk about energy. Even though your brain represents only 2% of your weight, it consumes 20% of all your energy. It makes sense to properly manage the amount of energy your brain uses before it tires out. Do you know what brain activity consumes the most energy? It's moving your attention from one thing to another. If you think about it, the hardest part of any activity is the beginning. This is because focusing demands a lot of energy. Unfortunately, we live in the era of distraction. Distraction is when you allow external factors to move your attention from one thing to another. Every time you go from working to checking Instagram, you are using brain energy. Every time you go from watching Netflix to replying to a message, you are using brain energy. Distraction is the #1 enemy of brain energy. It makes sense to say that the opposite of distraction is your brain's best friend. That's why we need to talk about concentration. Concentration is the most powerful tool to properly manage your brain's energy levels. When you are exclusively focused on one thing, you are not wasting your brain's energy by jumping unnecessarily from one thing to another. Concentration is the ability you need to develop to keep your brain from tiring out. Concentration allows you to experience the flow state. This is when you are so immersed in an activity that you feel you don't need too much effort to keep working on it. Why? Because concentration clears the brain fog distraction tends to create. Concentration allows you to be more productive, more efficient, and take better care of your brain. The problem is that no one teaches you how to concentrate. In this age of distraction, concentration is a very important skill to master. That's why I recommend you watch this video I made. Here I share with you the most powerful lessons I learned from a Hindu monk about how to stay focused for long periods of time. I will leave the link to the video in the description below. The third tip is to take care of the most important aspects of your health. The first aspect is your sleep. For this, make sure to check out these 2 videos I made. I will leave the links in the description below. The second aspect is your diet. Personally, I like to follow a low-carb diet. This helps me keep my blood sugar levels stable throughout the day. Therefore, my brain has a stable source of fuel all day long. The third aspect is your psychological health. This topic deserves a separate video, but for sake of simplicity, here are some things you can do. Invest in healthy relationships and completely remove toxic influences from your life. Find ways to heal traumas from the past. Learn how to love and accept yourself. The fourth aspect of taking care of yourself is moving your body. It's simple, exercise at least 3 times per week. By the way, make sure to check out the playlist How to Stay Healthy. I will leave the link in the description of this video. If this video provided you with value, please leave a good thumbs up and share this video to support the channel.